Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sairam, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa, Om Shakti, Parashakti. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. You are streaming live with us in Indonesia South on Atonville TV. This is The Journey. Well, it's a show called The Journey, and it's about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera, Heeralal, and if you'd like to join the conversation and interact with me in studio, you can do so by commenting at the bottom of the screen. Or you could use, the bottom right of your screen and use the WhatsApp line that you see there throughout the entire show. As you know, today is, the origins of Nagamma Part 2. And, if you want to join the conversation, like I said, comment at the bottom. Now, don't forget, if you are watching the show for the very first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. Alright, so I just want to give a shout out to everybody who is joining the show. A very big thank you to all of those who helped me today. We're going to join PK Maestri before we get there. PK Maestri is going to basically do a summary and a brief of yesterday's show and a little bit of extra teachings as well, not forgetting that. But before we do, let's open up the show like we always do with Ganesha. Alright? Everybody's saying namaskaram for Ganesha. Alright, so let's open up the show with Kiran and Nibi, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from United States of America. Okay, let's leave them for the middle of the show, right? Let's open up the show with Deshan Style and Naidu's Ganesha tracks today. Alright, so shout out to Deshan Style and Naidu in Durban. Let's give a round of applause for all our Durban Knights. I love you guys. Alright, Deshan Style and Naidu is singing for us Pilayar. Let's open up the show, guys.
सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा பாலம் திணித்தேனம் பாகம் பழப்பும் நிமை நாளும் கலந்துணக்க நான் தழுவே கோலம் ஜெய் துங்க கரிமுகத்து தூமணியே எங்கள் கணபதியே நீ எனக்கு சங்க தமிழ் மூன்றும் தான் கணபதியே ஐந்த கழுத்தனை ஆணை முகத்தனை இந்த நிலப்பினை போலும் ஏற்றனை நந்தி மகந்தனை ஞான குடும்பினை ஸ்ரீ உந்தியில் வைத்தடி போற்றி நின்றோமே. ஓம் விநாயகாய நமஹ, ஓம் விக்னராஜாய நமஹ, ஓம் மேகதந்தாய நமஹ, ஓம் ஸ்ரீ வக்ரதுண்டாய நமஹ. ஆத்துங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரச மழத்தடிய யாரு? ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரச மழத்தடிய யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவரை யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவரை யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவனாருக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு? பிள்ளையார் 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 பிள்ளையார். இந்திரன் சஜித்தது யாரு? அந்த சந்திரன் முழுங்கது யாரு? இந்திரன் சஜித்தது யாரு? அந்த சந்திரன் முழுங்கது யாரு? நாளை வேதம் போற்று திங்கத் யாரு? ஞானம் சுடலம் காரணம் யாரு? நாளை வேதம் போ தோற்றத்திங்க யாரு ஞானம் சுடலம் காரணம் யாரு அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவதாரிக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு பிள்ளையார் 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 கேட்டது கூடப்பவர் யாரு நம் வேதனை தீர்ப்பவர் யாரு கேட்டது கூடப்பவர் யாரு நம் வேதனை தீர்ப்பவர் யாரு சின்ன மூஷிக மேலவன் யாரு உந்தன் கனவில் வருவது யாரு சின்ன மூஷிக மேலவன் யாரு உந்தன் கனவில் வருவது யாரு நம் சபரிமலை அறியாரிக்கும் இந்த காக்கும் கடவுள் யாரு பிள்ளையார் 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 ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரசு மடுத்தடிய யாரு ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரசு மடுத்தடிய யாரு நம்ம கண்ணனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு நல்ல பாரதி எழுது அத யாரு நம்ம கண்ணனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு நல்ல பாரதி எழுது அத யாரு அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவதாரிக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு பிள்ளையார் 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 ஜெய் வீர விக்னேஸ்வர கணபதிக்கு ஜெய் 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 கணேஷ்வாரி மா ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ லட்சுமண் ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ்வாரி மா ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ லட்சுமண் கரிம்புநாத விநாயகா கருணாகா ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ்வாரி மா ஜெய் ஜெய் விநாயகா ஓம் ஸ்ரீ மகா கணபதயே நமஹ
Jai Ganesha! What a beautiful performance from Deshan Style and Anu with Pilayar. Guys, join the conversation, interact with me, let us know what you think about talent on Atomville TV. Alright, if you just joined the show, I know everybody's a little late due to load shedding and everybody's power just came back on, just like ours. I used to like going live at 6 o'clock, but unfortunately, due to the circumstance, we have to go on at 8:30 every single day. Well, for this week. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to come back and talk about the origins of Nagamma Part 2, I'd like everybody from the public to join us as we are live and comment at the bottom of the screen. But before you do that, we'll come back straight after this commercial break. Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranam Om Shakti, Para Shakti. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. For those of you who just joined us, hello. Namaskaram to Devan Naidu. Before we get to the show, thank you so much, Devan Naidu, for beating me to it. We haven't even started the show yet, but thank you for your support. I love it. I love your enthusiasm. I love everything about you, and I love your support. Thank you so much, Mr. Naidu. All right, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, let's do a quick recap now, right? Now, yesterday we spoke about Nagamma, right? And I referred to her as Manasa throughout the entire show. Now, we spoke about the origins of Nagamma, right? And we also spoke about, well, the stories, the legends behind it. We even spoke about the icon, meaning the iconography. And, well, there's a lot more to it. And but before we get to that, right, let's take a look at what Dr. P.K. Maestri has done for the recap of Nagamma. Check him out.
Good evening to our Actonville TV viewers. I must say, and I always say, that I'm proud of Andy and Kimera for promoting Hinduism, not only in the nation south, but into the larger areas of our region. Hinduism, in the last few years, slowly, and when the arrival of Actonville TV came into being in our area, we suddenly found an influx of interested people in uplifting Hinduism. And I thank them, and I thank you. Please continue your support, and they will give us whatever they can through Actonville TV. This evening, our topic is on Nagamma. Naga meaning snake, Amma, well-wisher, female goddess. Now I'm going to start off by saying Manasa is a Hindu goddess of snakes. She's worshipped mainly in Bihar, Bengal, the lower Assam region, and the northeastern India in Uttarakhand. These are various provinces in our motherland, India, chiefly for the prevention and cure of snakebite and also for fertility and prosperity. Worshipping Naga Devta on this day brings prosperity and consciousness in our lives. Snakes are very victorious, and idolizing them will bestow strength to combat the harmful effects of life. The snake-like Nagas are not figures of evil like the serpent of the Christian stories. Although some stories describe Nagas as Garuda enemies. What is Garuda? Garuda is the Purana. Purana, as I said, religious stories, are part of Vaishnavism literature, and it's one of the 18 Puranas, whom it perpetually punishes. Nagas are also worshipped in their own right. Nagas bring rain and thus fertility and prosperity, and are guardians of treasure, but are also able to cause natural disasters such as floods and drought when angered. Nagas tend to be curious and benevolent towards humans unless they have been mistreated or provoked. Now here we talk about Nagas, and I just recall that right here on our doorstep in Impala Crescent, the nation south, we have a Naga temple. It's been in existence here for almost 27 years, belonging to the Naidu family and open to the public for prayer. As Kimera was discussing yesterday, she said there were 12 dimensions of Nagas which are worshipped in the motherland. And I'm briefly just going to name them. They are Danta, Vasuki, Shesha, Padma, Kambala, Karkota, Ashvara, Shanpakala, Kaila, Tashka, and Pingala. There's also Dritashara, so that makes 12 aspects, right? Which is related to the 12 aspects of the Hindu calendar. The snake primarily represents rebirth, death, and mortality due to its casting of sin and being symbolically reborn. Over a large part of India, there are carved representation of cobras or nagas or stones as substitutes. these human food and flowers are offered and lights are burnt before the shrines. Also known as Naga Slotra, this powerful mantra of 9 Nagas all together is chanted on Nag Panchami Day, Naga Shashutri and the Shastri Day. Now, on the Shashutri Day, Lord Krishna defeated a major Nag, spared his life to cause no harassment in Gokul, and that's why it's a celebration as a Panchami. Shashutri refers to fortnight, and Shastri is the 14th day of the new moon. Nagas are mentioned in Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism, and they are considered to be divine deities that reside in the Patala Loka. In one of the discussions we said there are very many lokas, 7 different types of lokas or dimensions or heavens or paradises, and one is called Patala Loka. So why in Buddhism they are also believe in Naga worship? They believe human life is an offspring and that meditation and spiritual and physical labor and good behavior are ways to achieve enlightenment or nirvana. Whereas Jainism teaches that the path for enlightenment is through non-violence and reducing harm to living things, including plants and animals. In the regional tradition, Astoris emphasizes a bad temper and unhappiness due to rejection by father Shiva and her husband, and the hate of her stepmother Chandi. Shiva's wife identified with Parvati in this context. Manasa is depicted as kind to devotees but harsh towards people who refuse to worship her and is denied full godhood due to a mixed parentage. Manasa's aim was to fully establish authority as a goddess and to acquire steadfast human devotees. Manasa is depicted as a beautiful woman with a golden complexion. That's why she's termed as Jagat Gauru and a smiling face. She wears red garments and golden jewelry. She is four-handed and the upper right arm is holding a shank and the left hand holding a favorite flower lotus. A lower left hand holds a snake and the right hand bestows the Varada Mudra. Mudra is the sign, the significance of a prayer with the palm action. She is covered with snakes sitting, lotus plant upon a snake. She is sheltered by the canopy of the woods of 7 cobras. In Bengal is a province in India, she is rarely seen with her husband Karu. In some of her idols she is known with Behulu. Who is Behulu? Behulu refuses to worship Manasa Devi. Chand is a father-in-law, and therefore she kills all his sons, but one is married to Behulu. That's how Behulu gets involved here. In the Mahabharata, what's the Mahabharata? It's a struggle of sovereignty between 2 groups of cousins, the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Here they tell the story of Manasa's marriage. The sage practiced severe austerities and decided to abstain from marriage. Once he came across men hanging from a tree upside down. These men were his ancestors, who were doomed to misery as their children had not performed their last rites. That's interesting. Your children have to perform your last rites. So they advised him to marry and have a son who could be free for them to perform various ceremonies. Vaisuki offered his sister Manasa's hand to the sage. Manasa gave birth to a son, Astika, who freed his ancestors. The Puranas are the first scriptures to speak about her birth. They declare that the sage Kashpaya is a father not Shiva. Once when the serpents and reptiles had created chaos on earth, Kashpaya created the goddess Manasa from his mind. Mana means mind. The creator god Brahma made her the presiding deity of snakes and reptiles. Manasa gained control over the earth by the power of the mantras she chanted. Manasa then propagated the Lord Shiva, who told her to please the god Krishna. Upon being pleased, Krishna granted the divine Siddhi powers, that's great powers, and ritually worshipped her, making an established goddess. Kashpaya married Manasa to sage Jaratu, who agreed to marry her on the condition that he would leave her if she destroyed him. Only when he was awakened by Manasa, he became upset with her because she awakened him too late for worship, so he left her temporarily. The Gayatri mantra is also a very powerful mantra to remove as well as negate all kinds of Naga doshas. Kala Sarpa dosha, as well as Ragu dosha and Ketu dosha. Now we mentioned all the different doshas. In our book discussing the Navagara, we go deeply into the Sarpa dosha, Naga dosha, and the various other doshas. So I thought quickly, let me tell you about Sarpa dosha, because what is dosha? Dosha are the inflictions on your birth chart. So your birth chart is not absolutely clear because they're affected by what we call it afflictions, doshas. And these are Naga dosha, Sarpa dosha, and whatever other dosha. So let me just quickly tell you about what happens here in the doshas. In the Ragu dosha, Ragu and Ketu in the planetary worship, they are not planets. They are not planets in the sky. Ketu is number 9. Ketu is the head of a snake body of man. Ragu is number 8 in the planetary worship, and body of a snake, head of a man. How they came about is for another day. So just remember that Ragu and Ketu are, Ragu is worshipped on the Saturday, worship Meenakshi, bring unbroken peace, orchid flowers, and sing one Amma song. That's not to worry about. For Ragu, Saturday, Meenakshi, unbroken peace, orchid flowers, Amma song. Ketu dosha is on a Tuesday, red lily, that's a flower, horse grab, Ganesha's song. So it's a Tuesday prayer, red lily, horse grab, Ganesha's song, more fully described under Ragu remedial prayer and Ketu remedial prayer in the book Navagara Worship in South Africa. So if you go through that book, you'll find out, so we don't have to fully describe it here. Sarpa dosha is also a snake infliction on your birth chart. It's a prayer on a Tuesday and a Saturday. It's a combination of Ketu and Ragu. And also pray for the Lord Vishnu Yantra, the feet of Lord Vishnu. So everything you see about Ketu and Ragu is in Sarpa dosha, then you covered. The Naga dosha is also snake infliction on the birth chart. You pray for Ragu and Ketu. It's all fully described. You don't have to further describe it for our text in this instant. Naga was a member of the evolutionary offshoot of the human race called Homo humanus. As such, he was enhanced with strength, enabling to extract oxygen from water, durability against water pressure, and the ability to see in the dimly lit ocean depths. Chanting of the Nagamma mantra prevents ill luck, ill eyes, nightmares, and protection from evil spirits and curses, jealousies, rivalnesses, and destructive competitors to be washed away by chanting it. Moreover, constant chanting of the mantra religiously is also said to bless a person who his or her family with success, victory, good fortune, good health, lots of wealth and peace. According to many Puranas, I told you Puranas are religious texts, when the mantra of goddess Nagammas are constantly chanted, the chanter will be bestowed with all kinds of spiritual powers. Pregnant ladies can also chant the Nagamma mantra for the protection of the fetus in the womb and for the safe baby delivery. Childless couples that are trying for a baby can also see the blessings and grace of Nagamma by chanting this mantra. Best days to chant this mantra is on a Tuesday and a Friday. Also Tuesday and a Friday. Tuesday is a prayer for Amma, Friday is a prayer for Amma, and the color should be red on the Tuesday and the color should be white on a Friday. Anyone can chant this mantra regardless of gender and age. And how to worship, you can either use the Nagamma yantra or the goddess Nageswara, goddess Durga yantra. In conclusion, I want to inform you that in South Africa, this goddess is called Malambo. When I was a young boy in the north coast of Natal, Malambo, they always said Malambo is a snake, lovely to eat, kill the Malambo and eat the Malambo. It's a deity in the South African Zulu mythology. It's the goddess of the rivers. In the Egyptian snake goddess, it's called Nagamma Pushal. First time I heard that it's also available in Egypt, and this goddess wears snake jewelry. It's also found in California, in America. It's also found in China, and in China it is called a cobra. In a province in India, it's called Nagaland. Nagaland. Would you believe 80% of the people in Nagaland are Christians? 8% Hindus and only 2% Muslims. Thank you.
Dr. P.K. Maestri, everybody, from the MSK Temple in Malaysia South on Starling Street. I like to call it Meenakshi Temple. Thank you so much, Dr. Maestri, for the recap of yesterday's show of Nagamma Part 1. Now, today we're doing Nagamma Part 2, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more. Thank you so much, Deborah Naidoo, for also interacting with us in studio today, as your comments are at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much. Everybody can see it. Vanakam to Dashni Manikam this evening, who couldn't be here with us today, and the other two kids as well, Pritesh and Kimera. Everybody has other commitments, guys, but hey, I'll always be and you'll always have me. Alright, so since Vara Lakshmi is coming up, everybody, next week Friday, yay! Let's take a look at what the MSK Temple has to offer you.
ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ 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 ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ.
Meenakshi Sundareswara temple, or should I say Kovel rather, will be having, Vara Lakshmi next week Friday. I hope you guys are going to Lakshmi prayers. A lot of people tell me that they do their Lakshmi prayers in their home, but it's not the same. You know, you need energy. Why you go temple? There my terminal just came out. Guys, why do you go to temple? To bring that energy home so that, you know, your spiritual cup is full. Not half empty, it's full. Alright, so I hope to see you guys at the MSK next week Friday, for those of you who are residing in Lenasia South. Alright, so getting back to the topic of conversation, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching the show, and if you are watching the show for the very first time, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kimera Heeralal, and I'm your host on the Journey Show, Exploring Hinduism. Alright, so we did a recap of everything. I think Doctor did a very good recap. Thank you, Devanida, for telling Doctor. Thank you so much. Alright, so Doctor spoke about the Mahabharata, and so did I yesterday, right? I mean, the Mahabharata told us the story of Manasa's marriage, Nagamma's marriage, right? Then Doctor also mentioned that, Dr. Maestri mentioned the Puranas, alright? And he also mentioned that the Puranas are the first scriptures to actually speak about her birth. And they declare that sage Kashyapa is her father and not Shiva, as prescribed in the later Mangal Kavyas. Now, once when serpents and reptiles had created chaos on earth, Kashyapa created goddess Manasa from his mind, also known as Mana. Now, the creator god Brahma made her the presiding deity of snakes and reptiles. We discussed this yesterday. If you missed the show, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was episode 70. So if you want to backtrack on that show, you can click on that link or just type The Journey, Origins of Nagamma, episode 70. Yeah? Alright, we got Nishi Heeralal coming in on YouTube. She says, Namaste Kimera. Namaste Nishi. Thank you for joining the show. Alright. So if you must know, Miss Heeralal, we are discussing the snake god, Nagamma. Alright, so like I mentioned, now we recapped Mahabharata, the story about the marriage. We discussed the Puranas. Now let's talk about something that Doctor missed, okay? So let me carry on with the show. Now there's something called Mangal Kavyas, okay? Now the Mangal Kavyas were devotional paeans to local deities such as Manasa, composed in Bengal between the 13th and 18th centuries. Now, the Manasa Mangal Kavya by Vijay Gupt and the Manasa Vijaya, this was in 1495 by the way, was by the Baipradas Pipile. Please excuse, and I know I butchered the terminology here, but as I'm English speaking, please forgive me. I humbly ask your forgiveness. Okay, so now however, these stray further from the Puranic references, probably due to the creative licenses exercised. Now, at least 15 Mangal Kavyas dictated or dedicated to Manasa are known. And if you guys want to do some research, you can research scholar D.C. Sen, who traced 51 versions of her tale, if you want to check that out. Now, according to the Manasa Vijaya, Manasa was born when a statue of a girl that had been, there was a statue of a girl, right, that had been sculptured by Vasuki's mother, which was touched by Shiva's seed. Okay, and Vasuki accepted Manasa as his sister and granted her the charge of poison that was poisoned, or should I say, sorry, let me rephrase that. Vasuki accepted Manasa as her sister, or as his sister rather, and granted her the charge of poison that was produced when King Prithu milked the earth as a cow. Now, when Shiva saw Manasa, he was actually attracted to her. But she proved to him that he was her father. So Shiva took Manasa to his home where his wife is, Chandi, suspected Manasa of being Shiva's concubine, right? Or co-wife, would you say, and insulted Manasa and burnt one of her eyes, leaving Manasa half blind. So later, when Shiva was dying of poison, Manasa cured him. And on one occasion, when Chandi kicked her, and Manasa rendered her senseless with a glance of her poison eye. Finally, tired of quarrels between Manasa and Chandi, Shiva deserted Manasa under a tree, but created a companion for her from his tears of remorse, called Netu, or also known as Neta. Stay exactly where you are. When we come back, we'll talk about more about the origins of Nagamma on part 2, straight after this commercial break.
You can do anything. All you need is determination. And a fresh pair of these, nallies. But what's the point of looking like Injay game if all your money is on your feet and your dreams go up in flames? In this world of doing it for a gram, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sairam, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranam Om Shakti, Parashakti. Welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, we are still streaming live in Indonesia South on Actonville TV. This is The Journey Show, the show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera Heeralal, and if you'd like to interact with us in studio today, you can do so by commenting at the bottom of your screen right there, or you could use our WhatsApp line, which you can find at the bottom right of your screen. Alright, Nishi Heeralal urging and saying, Kimera, you need to invite Devon Naidu on your show. He is very learned. We know. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Naidu, I know you are a busy man by word of mouth, but if you would like to join the show, Nishi Heeralal is our fans and public demand has requested that you come onto the show. So thank you so much, Nishi Heeralal. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we like to keep you well entertained as we're educating you on the Journey Show. Coming up next, we've got Kiran and Devi from America, and they are performing for you Hirivarasanam. Check them out.
Harivarasanam Vishwamohanam Haridadhishwaram Aradhya Padukam Harivimardanam Nityanartanam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanakirtanam Bhaktamanasam Bharanalolupam Nartanalasam Arunabhasuram Bhutanayakam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Pranaya Satyakam Pranaya Satyakam Pranadayakam Pranatakalpakam Suprabhanchitam Pranavamandiram Kirtanapriyam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Turagavahanam Sundarananam Varagadayudham Vedavarnidam Guru Kripakaram Kirtanapriyam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Tribhuvanarchitam Devatatmakam Trinayanam Prabhum Divyadeshikam Tridasha Pujitam Chintita Pradam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Sharanamayappa Swami Sharanamayappa Bhavabhayapaham Bhavukavaham Bhuvanamohanam Bhutibhushanam Dhavalavahanam Devyavaranam Hariharatmajam Devamashraye शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा कळमृदुस्मितं सुन्दराननं कळभकोमलं गात्रमोहनं कळभकेसरी वाजिवाहनं हरिहरात्मजं देवमाश्रये शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा श्रितजनप्रियं चिन्तितप्रदं श्रुतिविभूषणं साधुजीवनं श्रुतिमनोहरं शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी श्रुतिमनोहरं शरणमय्यप्पा शरणमय्यप्पा श्रुतिमनो अय्यप्पा 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 श्रुतिमनोहरं गीतलालसं हरिहरात्मजं देवमाश्रये शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा 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 स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामी शरणमय्यप्पा अय्यप्पा
Swami Sanamayappa! Beautiful performance by Kiran and Nevi all the way in the United States of America. Oh my God, God bless you girls. You guys are talented. I love it. And for those of you who don't know who they are, that is Kiran and Nevi, whom we showcase every single day on the show. Thank you girls so much for sharing your content with us. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering how are we interacting overseas? Remember, we're streaming globally. So if you feel you've got talent and you've got a smartphone, all you have to do is capture it with a camera and interact with us in studio. You could drop us a WhatsApp on the WhatsApp line, or you could comment at the bottom of the screen and let us know that you are interested in finding out the whole procedure as to getting your content on the show. We don't mind. Devin Naidu coming in on YouTube says that believed to be possessors of a manika. That's a serpent stone. Thank you so much. He says, which turns fortunes from rags to riches. Serpents are said to guard family treasures for centuries underground. He also continues to say on YouTube, excuse me, it is said that in the time of crisis or poverty, when the family members pray to the serpents, the treasure surfaces itself. Thank you so much, Devin Naidu, for interacting with us in studio today. It means a lot to us as we are advertising and, helping every organization around us or that we connected to with their should I say, word of mouth and getting out the word of Varalakshmi happening. SSA has to offer you in Weinberg Street in Attenville, Benoni themselves. Check it out.
வந்தாரை வாழ்ந்திட செய்வாயே வரலட்சுமி பழஞ்சாவும் தந்தருள் புரிவாயே வந்தாரை
Varalakshmi Virudham on the 25th of August 2023. Puttu Villakku Puja at 7 p.m. Anyone wishing to partake in the Kutu Villappu Puja, kindly contact Shentil, Sue or Anusha on the numbers below for bookings and requirements list. Please note that booking is compulsory. Temple will be open from 6 a.m. Supper will be served.
Thank you guys so much. So now we've advertised for 2 temples already. I hope you guys like that one. So if you're residing in the east, you can go to the SMK SSA. If you're residing in the south, you can go to the MSK temple, right? Cool. Alright, so getting back to the topic of conversation, thank you so much for your interaction, Mr. Naidu. Okay, so we're talking about the origins of Nagamma Part 2. Alright, if you missed this episode, please go back to episode 70 on the Atonville TV channel on YouTube and check it out. Alright, so let's talk about the Nagamma worship. Alright, now generally Manasa is actually worshipped without an image, if you didn't know. Yes, I know you can see the Amma beside me, but generally Manasa is worshipped without an image. A branch of a tree, an earthen pot, or an earthen snake image is worshipped as the goddess. Now, though images of Manasa, as Nagamma, Manasa, are worshipped too. Now, she is worshipped for protection basically she's worshipped for protection from and cure of snake bites, infectious diseases like smallpox and chickenpox, okay? And the following of Manasa is most widespread in Bengal, where she is ritually worshipped in temples. Now, the goddess is widely worshipped in the rainy season when the snakes are most active. Now, Manasa is also very important fertility deity, especially among the lower castes, and her blessings are invoked during marriage or for childlessness. She is usually worshipped and mentioned along with Neto, who is called Neta, and Neti Dopani and Netal Sundori, etc. is in various parts of Bengal. Now in North Bengal, among the Rajbansis, Manasa called Bishohara or Bishohari or Padmavati is one of the most important goddesses, and her they call her and her tine, meaning shrine, may be found in the courtyard of almost every agrarian household. Now, among the lower caste Hindus of East Bengal, present-day Bangladesh too, she is worshipped with great pomp. Now, Manasa is an especially important deity in Bengal for the mercantile castes. This is because Chando of the Manasa was the first to initiate her worship in Bahula. The heroine of the Manasa Mangal was a daughter of the Saha clan, a powerful trading community, basically. So Manasa is the prime deity of Anga region, especially in Anga's capital. Champa, now is called Bengalpur, is believed that the story of Chand's Saudagar and Bahula started from this very place. Now, in the old quarters of Champanagar in the city stands an enormous temple of Manasa, right? Now, several artifacts and sculptures found in and around the place made locals believe that it was where Chanda Saudagar had his Rajbari. Now, a recent excavation has also found Loha Bashorgor or Bashorgor, the building made specifically for the wedding night of the Lakhandan and Bahula. The Angika Lokata, also known as the Bahula Bashira Lokata, and the regional art Manjusha Chatrika is full-fledgedly based on the chronicles of Manasa and the hardships of Bahula. Well, I hope you got a great understanding of the worship of Nagamma. If you didn't, you can watch the show again and track back to it. It'll be awesome. Alright, well, we've got Devin Naidu coming in again. Well, he's still on our YouTube. He's sent a lot of messages. If you guys want to learn more, you can read his comments. And again, thank you, Mr. Naidu, for that. Alright, coming up next and keeping you well entertained on the Journey show on Atonville TV. Well, we've got Priyanka Muntri, and tonight she's performing Sutrane Vidyan Devaram of Lord Shiva's. Check it out.
So kada Namasivayave Mapine taruviya maator bhagatin Puppine tirundadi porunda kai tora Mapine taruviya maator bhagatin Puppine tirundadi porunda kai tora Napine taruviya Namasivaya pata Napine taruviya Namasivaya pata Napine taruviya Namasivaya pata Yettavalartamaka Yettavalartamaka Sivame Yettavalartamaka Idukanillaye Yettavalartamaka Idukanillaye
Hare Hare Mahadev! Well, that was Priyanka Muntri. Oh, she's from Durban and she's from Deshan Style and Naidu's Academy, if I'm not mistaken. What a little girl, beautiful child. Well, performing for your Devarams, it's beautiful. Alright, guys, we're coming towards the end of the show, but before we go, let's take a look at the various temples celebrating Lakshmi Devi's day next week, Friday. Let's take a look.
ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನಿ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ 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 ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚೆ ಮೇಲೊಂದೆಚ್ಚೆ
As we've come towards the end of the show, and as you know, you learn a lesson from the Thirukural every single day. Today, we're looking at the 108 principles of the value system from the Thirukural, ladies and gentlemen. Today's lesson is standing at number 47, and it says, cultivate modesty. Great lesson there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are residing in South Africa, I'd like to advertise for Guru Indresan. He is available for the following services. He is there to do your Jandagam, also known as your astrological readings or your Panjagam. He also does your Navagraha Shanti, your house prayers, your business prayers, your car prayers, your temple and hall weddings, not forgetting your ceremonies like your 16 days and your 1 year, your Janda prayers, your auspicious Hawans, and your Kumbha Abhishegams. If you want to contact Guru Indresan, you can do so via WhatsApp or call him on 081-325-0115. I'll give you the number again. It's 081-325-0115. Alright guys, well that's all the time we have for today folks. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This was the Origins of Nagamma Part 2. If you missed the show, you can search for episode 70 on our channel on YouTube. And yeah, you can learn lots and lots. Alright, for those of you who know me and got to know me a little bit more and you want to see me a little bit more crazier than usual, tomorrow join me on the Crack of Dawn show at 10 a.m. I think. Okay, according to my director, it's 11 a.m. due to the load shedding schedule, so I'm going to get some sleep. Alright, so see you guys tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in the morning on the Crack of Dawn, which is an English show, a variety show. And tomorrow we're talking about social media, TikTok, stuff like that. But it's going to be fun. It's actually interesting things. You missed the show today. It was about things you should not Google. Can traumatize you. Anyways, guys, join me again tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the journey. And from myself, Kimera, Heeralal, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sairam, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranam Ayyappa, Om Shakti, Parashakti. Good night, everyone.